Breaking news, Dan Bailey is still an absolute savage. Look at the size of that man. Damn. I saw his photos, I was like, his veins have got veins. Yeah, side note, it's actually crazy, you know, when you look back at what people like Dan Bailey, Rich Froning, Josh Bridges, and even before that, some of the more OG people did for this sport. Yeah, I don't know why that crossed my mind, but... And he's still going and looking like a giant chicken fillet. Great dude. He's such a nice man. Like, that's all I can say about Dan Bailey, such a nice man. All right, team, hello, welcome back to the news. And before we get into it, a couple of things that have been living in my head rent-free over the last couple of weeks or months since I last did a news video. Here they are. Now, I related too hard to this first one. Just need to change him to her. When you told her you didn't want anything from the shop and she actually took you seriously and didn't get you anything. That is me on the sofa every time when it's like that. But that's me, innit?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
In a huff.
The spiky things that live in the sea urchins, like to put rocks and shells on their head to protect them from predators and the sun. So an aquarium printed 3D hats for them, and they actually love to wear them. And nature wild, eh? David Attenborough definitely needs to feature that one. Vermont, the home of the 5-time fittest man on earth, Matt Fraser, they had witch windows, which were diagonal windows, and they existed exclusively there in Vermont. And it comes from the superstition that witches cannot fly their broomstick through a tilted window. Crazy what we used to think back in the day, eh? And then talking about overthinking, when I was younger, I really thought quicksand was gonna be a much bigger issue in my life. Tell me I'm not wrong. You know, when you were a kid, I'm like, man, quicksand. Dangerous. It's dangerous out there. I never met quicksand. I'm now 30. And then speaking of being a kid, it has come in really handy in adult life. Lost count how many times I've resolved a quick, difficult situation with a quick blast of 3 blind mice. When I put this one on my story, a lot of Americans said, you do that too in UK? Yes. Yes, we do. And then finally, I just enjoyed this. The invention of archery. I really want to stab that guy, but he's way over there. Common sense. It's just true, isn't it? Imagine that in back in the day, before a bow was invented. Anyway, if you made it through that part, congratulations. Now on to some CrossFit news. Functional fitness news, whatever you want to call it. The good meaty stuff. Now let's talk semi-finals, as they're only a couple of weeks away now. They'll be running from May the 18th to June the 4th. Some are 3-day events, some are 2-day events, but I feel like it's gonna bring the heat, and it's gonna give us something to watch on the weekends. First off, we're heading to Orlando, Florida, for the North America East, where we have this year's arguably favorite Mallory O'Brien in a strong woman's field, alongside Brooke Wells, Emma Carey, Annika Greer, Emma Lawson, Alexis Raptis, Danielle Brandon, Amanda Barnhart, hot off a win at Wodapalooza, Paige Powers. That woman's field is no joke. And on the male side, we have another favourite taking to the floor this year, Roman Krenikov. But one of my hot favourites for this year to do really well, Dallin Pepper's gonna be there. Someone who's always a threat, Jeffrey Adler. Also in North America East, Noah Olson. This is his 10th season, and he has said that this is his final season as an individual competitor. Saxon Panchik, Jason Hopper. Okay, so some of the crap talking has started, and I'm a fan of this in this sport.
As you can tell by looking at this fine physique, that I'm a freak of nature, and I mean, I'm a specimen of human movement, so who the f***?
Because you got to back it up. On a video posted by CrossFit, where Jason Hopper wasn't looking too hot, he was dying in a workout, Dallin Pepper put, "Jason Hopper, you good, bro?" And he replied, "Goodness, I can't take you seriously with that blue check that you're paying $15 a month for." Friendly banter, best thing on earth, right? I'm here for that. Now on that same post that was posted by CrossFit Games, it said the reigning and defending 2-time fittest man on earth, Justin Medeiros, is headed to the North America West semi-final, starting on May the 25th in Pasadena, California. Beware of the champ. Let's go, champ! To which Patrick Vellner replied,
boring.
Get it. You know what I mean? Get it. That's going to be, I feel like that's going to be an exciting semi-final with those two going together in that semi-final. I feel like it's going to be a good telltale sign, you know? Justin Medeiros coming off the back of 2 wins of the CrossFit Games. And when we went and trained with him, I was like, damn. I couldn't believe how strong he was. He is so strong. Like we're doing like bodybuilding stuff, but he's just technically really strong. Like it's surprising me. Like he's way stronger than me at all these bodybuilding moves. I don't have my game.
Why are you so strong, Justin?
So strong. I just can't snatch 315 pounds or clean over 400 pounds. Like some people. Loud noises. I might not hear any loud noises actually. Whoa, there it is. Come on.
This is so hard!
You got two.
So demoralizing. Everybody want to be a bodybuilder, but not everyone want to lift heavy ass weight. I do it though. Like when we did some bodybuilding, I was like, yeah, I do a decent amount of bodybuilding now. With my weightlifting, like, I'll keep up. Couldn't. And I feel like over the last couple of years, obviously Patrick Vellner's been there or thereabouts, and he's got the hype and he's got everything it takes to be the best. He's just missing that tiny bit sometimes. Or like there's a mistake or there's a swim. Is this his year? Last year when we were at the games, people had Vellner for president or something, like badges.
Cute.
Now, if you actually look at the semi-finals schedule, you'll see that some of them are CrossFit semi-finals and some of them are kind of outside semi-finals that are not fully under the control of CrossFit, but they are, but they're not, but they're run by that outside entity. Now, there's two semi-finals that Jazz and I will be going to. One of them is the Torium Pro, where we will have very limited of these t-shirts. We don't quit mentality, but in the Australian colors. Like very limited. Now we all know that the Australians, you guys are crazy when you're out there, like the competition is always hype. But this year, I feel like they're going above and beyond with their marketing. And with that, really going above and beyond for the athletes that are competing at it. And I love to see it. For one, they have a YouTube series called Grind to Greatness, where they come out with episodes around the athletes that are competing. And so you can get to know them, understand them, and then when you watch the event, you know, like Drive to Survive, you get the behind the scenes before it happens, and then you get to watch them and you have your favorites. And two, they made this like We Are the Machines, epic CGI, like robot, like hype video. And it's just one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It's so cool. If any of you out there that watch this video can do that, can you do that for one of my lifts? Like that would be one of the sickest videos. I would love that. Now the lineup for Oceania will have a couple of big names missing. Tia-Claire Toomey this year, obviously through pregnancy. And then on the male side, third fittest on earth, Ricky Garrard. Season has ended early and he explained all about it on his YouTube.
Cannot believe this is happening.
Long story short, I come off my mountain bike about 8-9 days ago now. Landed on my shoulder and I have ruptured the AC joint in my shoulder, so fair bit of damage. Resulted in me getting surgery just 2 days ago now. Yeah, it's looking like I'm out for 4 to 6 months recovery, so.
Now, someone who will be there, who maybe didn't expect to be there, is James Newbury. This year he's been focusing more on business and life, and he was only doing CrossFit 3 or 4 times a week and just doing the class for an hour, and he's made it to semi-finals. But I feel like his goals have changed. On Instagram he posted this: why am I training? 10% because it's good for me, 90% because I want to make Khan Porter's day. To which Khan Porter replied, no one is ready for how pumped I'm gonna be when the big fella qualifies. The love. You know what I mean? Like, so James obviously is focusing on other things, but has made it, and now he's like, all right, I'm gonna try and send it. So I'm excited to see how he does in that field. And then I feel like now we can't talk about Australia without talking about Jay Crouch, probably the favorite of the field. He has a new home gym and it looks incredible. It has J hooks, and they're called J hooks because Jay made them. Fact. Also, Ellie Turner is now back in Australia before the semi-finals, and she is learning the pump-up bike exercise. Pump-up tyre exercise. Quick look into the Oceania region. CrossFit's post-pandemic growth in Oceania is 15% in affiliates, and actually the open participation went up 19% from 2022 to 2023. Banging. Love to see it. And then just quickly looking at the European semi-final, where we will have a Hustle Made booth dropping some sick stuff. But it'll obviously be the other semi-final that we'll be at. Strong field, but yeah, CrossFit Oslo have broken a record from an affiliate standpoint of sending 6 teams and 7 individuals to the semi-finals. That is wild, just from one box. Now actually yesterday, CrossFit released the first of the workouts for the teams, and one of them has handstand pirouettes in it. Kind of took my little fancy, and I saw that CrossFit posted actually handstand pirouettes to YouTube on July the 18th, 2019. So it's not a new thing. And then the workout that I really am excited for is test 5. You know, like the 1 minute on, 2 minutes off, ascending cleans. Top male weight being 143 kilos, female weight being about 105 kilos. It's gonna be good, and they're gonna be tired when they do it. Now this year we got told that CrossFit will standardize and program all tests for the entire season, including the semi-finals. So will we have all the same workouts at all the semi-finals? It seems to suggest so. And now that quarterfinals is out the way, we have the power rankings coming into play as to how many spots have been given out to each semi-final. And Europe got an extra 6 females and 6 males. North America East got 6 females, 7 males. North America West got 5 females, 4 males. And Africa, Asia, Oceania and South America got no extra spots. Now over the past week, whilst Jacob Hebner has been coaching at the tactical games with a spade because he couldn't find a PVC pipe. Once a great coach and athlete, always a great coach and athlete. The age group semi-finals have been going down, and Rich Froning has been throwing it down. But I don't know if it's because of the 20% layoff that happened of the CrossFit staff on April the 27th, with the premise of it really being around economic insecurity going forward. With Don Fole, the new CEO, basically saying that it will position CrossFit to make some big bets against their most important priorities. But they messed up the leaderboard, and with the scoring that was in it. And basically looking at it, when all of the workouts were done, this was the top 10, and only 10 go through, with Steve Fawcett actually sitting in 10th saying, I've seriously got to sit here and wait for a week until this leaderboard is correct. And Brian Friend making a really good point about it, saying there was 550 athletes competing in the age group semi-finals, and because CrossFit didn't execute the scoring system, you haven't heard anything from them, which is taken away from the athletic highlighting and the achievements, and we're dwelling on errors that are amateur far too frequently, which I fully agree with. It serves as a counter to the narrative to the sport that is professionalizing. But yeah, the top 10 of the males from 35 to 39 end up like this, with Rich Froning on top again by 2 points ahead of Scott Panchik. However, he will not be going to the games in the age group category, stating in a podcast saying that he did the age group qualifiers for fun and competition. But regardless of the final standings, he will not move on past this. But don't worry, he'll be at the CrossFit Games, hanging out, working out, supporting the athletes. But this time he won't be taking the field, which is kind of sad. You know, it's kind of iconic every time you see Rich on the field. No matter like team, individual, whenever it was, you'd see him walk out, you'd be like, damn, that's Rich Froning. It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool! Pretty damn cool!
And then in some bite-sized bits of news, Zach George joins British TV show Gladiators and will not compete at semi-finals with his team. Gladiators is a nostalgic show, and it's going to be all over the UK. It's crazy. Unfortunately, his team didn't have a replacement, so it's kind of like been all up in the air. Sam Cornier got his drug test, so they are doing out-of-season drug testing and in-season drug testing, it looks like. Justin Medeiros did a coffee argument, and it looked like more of you like a long black than you do a latte. I would go with a long black too. Jason Hopper tries on the new Nano 74s. And if you listen to country music in the gym, don't worry about it. Luke Combs set a new attendance record at Ford's Field and also at the Nissan Stadium. So you can listen to it in the class. But anyway, that's it. Team, if you want to support Jazz and I, please head over to hustlemade.com. Go and get some of the sickest hoodies in the game, all the stuff that has dropped. Thank you to Whoop for sponsoring this video. It's the best wearable if you want to just track, monitor, perform at your best. And if no one's told you today, you're an absolute legend. I'll catch you in the next one. News is back.